Hey guys, it's Daskro, and I'm doing an interview with Team Nexus, which... Oh, we're about to crash. Oh, not a good intro, but let's continue. I'm talking here with Chlorox, Dream, K-rake, and Killa. They are four of the guys on Team Nexus. Say hello, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
What's up, Daskro?
Not a whole lot. We're just playing some Caspian... Or no, this is... What map is this? Karg Island?
Karg.
Karg Island, 64-man. Let's just go down a list here. K-rake is a tanker and jet pilot, and he's flying around this map. Chlorox is an all-around infantry player. He can play in Battlefield for as long as I have. And then Dream and Killa are both sort of face melters. They're sort of real-deal infantry guys that really can get shit done. So let's just kind of go down the list here. I'm going to start with Chlorox because... You know, I've actually played with Chlorox on a number of different teams. So, Chlorox, give a little intro to sort of your BF experience, where you started and how you got to where you are today.
I think I started in BFV when that came out, and played for Mafia Nation, then War Child, and then Revival, and then Torn ID all through that and BF2, and eventually 2142 I played with Check 6, and then when BF3 came out I started playing with Nexus.
Very cool, very cool. Now, how many of you also played Battlefield Vietnam? Anyone else?
I played for about 5 minutes, and then my computer blue screened, and I never played it again.
Oh, what about you, Killa? Did you ever play it?
I played it, but I don't think I played 1 or 2 matches in the competitive scene, and then I forget what happened. I just didn't play it anymore after that.
A little bit of mixed reaction on Battlefield Vietnam. I played it a bit, not as much as I would like to, but it was still a good game in its own respects. So Killa and Dream, what were you playing around that time when that game came out? What was that, like 2005, 2006?
I think I was still playing 1942. No, Battlefield 2.
It was sort of interesting because Battlefield Vietnam came out within 6 months of the latest Battlefield 1942 expansion, which was Secret Weapons World War II or whatever.
And
Yes,
Desert Combat. I was playing a lot of Desert Combat with my
that's
friend.
what it was.
Yeah, if you were to look at sort of Half-Life and how Half-Life was a sort of a big deal way back in the late 90s, and there was a mod that came out, which later became Counter-Strike. Battlefield also had a similar instance in terms of Battlefield 1942 came out, and then you had Desert Combat, which was sort of a modern-day version of Battlefield 1942, which later the development community that actually created it later joined DICE and became and created Battlefield 2. Did much of you play Battlefield or Desert Combat for that matter?
I actually never played it.
Oh, you missed out, man. It was one of the best mods for any game ever. Like, considering Counter-Strike a mod for Half-Life, I'd say it's probably number 2.
I would agree with Dream. I played it from day 1 until it wasn't played anymore, pretty much, in the competitive community.
What made Desert Combat so different? I mean, you're talking it up pretty highly, but what really made it so different compared to BF94 or other mods for that matter?
Well, it basically had everything that we wanted out of the Battlefield series. I think, Battlefield 1942 when it came out was a big hit because it was, it was a new, it was a new game that had all-out warfare, tanks, planes, boats, fucking submarines sometimes, fucking turbo mod where you could jump an aircraft carrier off of Wake Island. And then, we wanted it to evolve and become more serious, and the only way we saw that happening is if they brought it into the modern era. And I guess, it was a good thing, and it was all, like, set in stone when it happened, when Desert Combat came out, because it basically laid the groundwork for Battlefield 2, like, the new, we'll say, all-out warfare.
Century.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my, sort of most sought after or favorite memories from Desert Combat was being the Iraqis and shooting those giant Scud missiles into the enemy base, and just seeing that giant ass missile fly and crash on and crash on the enemy team's base, and just annihilating people. The sort of immensity of it all was very breathtaking.
Absolutely.
What were some of the things that you guys best remember about Desert Combat?
I like the MLRS actually a lot, like the mobile artillery that they incorporated.
Now what? So it had an MLRS is essentially a mobile rocket artillery system. It shoots a bunch of big ass missiles.
Multiple launch rocket system is what it's.
And what was really cool about that was sort of that it could lay sort of a blanket of fire over a given area. It wasn't just a precision guided munition hitting one little area. It sort of carpeted everything, right?
Yep.
And now we see in sort of the new Armored Kill expansion coming out for Battlefield 3 that there's going to be a HIMARS system. HIMARS is a smaller version of the MLRS system. Do you think that in this new Armored Kill expansion that it'll be similar to what we saw with the MLRS back in Desert Combat?
I think so, and I really hope so. I like what they did with the AC-130. They're bringing it back. If you guys ever played Battlefield 1943, they had a thing where if you captured a base and you got into a bunker, you could call in an air raid.
Really?
And it was like it was semi-controllable in that you could move the air raid left or right, but you really couldn't fly the thing. And that's basically what they're doing with the AC-130. You capture a base, you go into a bunker, and you choose your seat in the AC-130 as it circles automatically. So
that's
I
really
think,
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Personally, as a Battlefield fan, I would have liked to see them come back like Desert Combat days where you could actually fly the thing yourself.
Yeah, I remember back in the Desert Combat days flying around the AC-130 and having it be so lumbering and so cumbersome, and when you're fighting enemy jets, you just didn't have a chance in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's sort of what made it kind of fun in that respect.
And I think their argument is that it wouldn't be fair and balanced if you had an AC-130 actually flying around. I think it would.
I'd like to see an AC-130 gunship, to be honest.
Well, I think one of the sort of give and take of it all is that you have to, if you had the vehicle flyable, it would require a lot of teamwork to use it. And I have no problem with that. I actually would like that. But I think at the same time, there is a pub community out there that doesn't trust their fellow teammates as much as they should, and often think that the guy who's flying may just crash it or may just mess it up. And in fact, when they talk about the HIMARS system in Armored Kill, they mention even though that's a two-seat vehicle, you can only be one person in there at a time, because they don't want some random dude moving the vehicle around all the while you are trying to carpet bomb a little area.
Well, that's cool that they implemented that. I remember in DC, people were doing that all the time. People trying to set up their skyboxes for the Scud or MLRS.
It was a bit frustrating, to say the least.
I'm interested to see what the guidance system will be for those things. If they'll have like a new, just like a new skin on what they had the MLRS before, where it was basically like just like an overview of the map, and you kind of point a little crosshair, or what that'll be like. They had it was like a double box, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. They had a little picture of yourself and you're aiming, and then they had like a big picture of the map.
Yes, it's a bit. Aiming artillery in previous BF games was much more challenging compared to what we have now with like mortars, for instance. With 3D spotting and all the different recon perks that allow you to, with tugs and MAVs, it's a lot easier to see people on the minimap. But in previous BF games, it wasn't really the case. It was much harder and required a little more nuance to it. It required a lot more communication with your teammates and where you should and shouldn't be targeting. Do you think we'll see sort of a rise in pixel aiming like we saw in previous BF games with artillery?
That's what I was about to say. I wish they would bring back more skill shot based vehicles and weapons. like the Stinger, instead of just freaking locking on and shooting. That's what I missed about Battlefield or Desert Combat, was you just pretty much had to lead the target tremendously in order to hit it.
Yes. It's, and some of those things I really would like to see, in that maybe it's a, maybe it's something as simple as, well, you need to, you need to lead the target, like you said, or need to have a buddy, you know, shoot in coordination, and if you do shoot in coordination, it rapidly, you know, helps the accuracy of your shot, things like that. I would like to see those kinds of attributes.
I have noticed, though, if you try to lead a target in this game, it's a lot harder to determine where it's going to be. I don't know if that's just me, but especially the choppers.
I think it's the hitboxes and the fact that it's all client-side hit detection. I could be wrong, though.
One of the things that I sort of look back in the old Battlefield days that I really liked to see was ooh, look at that, was that the gunner position in all the vehicles with machine gun, when they hit a jet or a helo, it did a lot of damage. And I'm actually shooting the enemy helos right now, and I'm getting a lot of good hits. Doesn't matter though; it's not actually doing that much. Nice shot, by the way. I got that on film. But I'm hitting these things with the machine gun. It's not doing any damage to them. Back in BF 1942 days, you didn't have missiles that locked on to the enemy fighters as they came in. You literally had to shoot them down with your machine guns. And so it took a lot of skill to do it right, because you had to lead, you had to sort of know where they were going, where they weren't going, their trajectory, and everything like that. And nowadays, the skill's been taken away, and I sort of wish it was like it was, you know, way back when.
That ship's disabled.
Yeah, he's down.
Oh my god, what's locking onto us?
It's a little SOFLAM here on the street. I got a hit on it, but I don't know. I mean, do you guys remember the days, even back in BF2, when you had to, you know, get into a machine gun and shoot jets or helos down with a gun as opposed to with missiles and whatnot?
Oh yeah. I remember at the time when the jets and choppers were dominating, everyone in our team had to get into a jeep to shoot it down.
Yeah. Dragon Valley or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I hated that map.
It just had a good balance. It had enough jeeps to where you could actually take out a helicopter pretty quick if everyone got on their jeeps and started shooting.
Oh yeah, I should have repaired, but I wanted to get that helo kill. And again, I was getting some great shots in that light helo, but the machine gun doesn't do that much damage to it, and it's kind of disheartening. Because
my gunner the chopper.
I'll be gunner. I'm there with you. Actually, I'm flying. And I am not that great of a pilot, but I know how to do it.
I think the objective when you're in the gunner, you have to basically aim for the pilot. Because you're going to shoot him out fast, and then you're going to kill the chopper. Exactly. Or the jet. Would you like me to fly?
No, I'm flying. I'm good.
Right.
Is it an enemy tank near Chlorox? Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I have to.
Oh, he almost landed Chlorox.
What was that?
Oh shit, right below us.
Flares or me?
Oh, flare.
Alright. We're getting destroyed by the AA. Let's attack.
I gotta get out. I got out.
I'm still in it.
Oh yeah, I got killed. No, they're getting on you. You gotta get up there and just leave.
I'm trying.
Oh no!
I got it.
You gonna make it?
I got it.
Oh, get out of there!
I'm trying.
Oh no! You wanna land it? Oh no!
At some point on.
Oh, that's the end. That was pretty cool. End of the round now. Anyway, let's talk about this close quarter expansion. So close quarters, is it exciting? Is it just another thing? You know, the weapons any good? What do you guys think?
I think it's too much of a Call of Duty remake in the Battlefield series.
Honestly, I like it a lot better now after the patch, because if we had that pre-patch suppression going into close quarters, nobody would have played it, guaranteed.
Let's talk about suppression for a bit, since you bring it up. So, can one of you guys sort of give a lowdown of pre-patch suppression and why it was shitty? Or why it was not shitty, or what are your thoughts? That kind of
thing. From my standpoint as an infantry main, I would say the fact that you got suppressed instantaneously, like you went from 0 to 100% suppression in like 2 or 3 shots, and the fact that once you were fully suppressed, your gun you basically added 300% recoil onto your gun. So if you were shooting dead on, it was about 3.5 feet to the left.
Pretty much put it like this: if a bullet whizzed past your head 3 feet away, you were pretty much acting as if you were completely drunk after 10 shots.
Let's see if I get the tank here. Now, do you think that it's now changed quite a bit? Can you explain sort of where it is now?
Yeah, hold on a second.
It is now. It is much more playable. I think it seems like they decreased it tremendously. It seems to only be about 20% more suppression than when the first game came out.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Now, when you're getting shot at, you can easily shoot back at other people and still stay into the fight instead of running around behind cover like a little girl. What kind
of habits do you think, though, that the pre-patch suppression encouraged?
Well, if you were suppressed, you were not to shoot at anyone. That was the main rule. Because you weren't going to hit them. Yes, you were to go and hide until the suppression was gone, and then you try and peek out without getting suppressed again.
What it's probably made people play more is to be more cautious, not running in there like John Rambo and trying to kill everyone. I still do that now, but it's made people play a lot more cautious, and it's actually promoted the use of heavy machine guns a lot more, which I don't like. The PKP is absurd.
And in that respect, we have, in the competitive scene, we have not many different classes being used. We probably see some engineer, we see a lot of assault, but not much support and not much recon. In that respect, do you think it's, maybe if only support had sort of the suppression ability of pre-patch, that it may be, a little different? Because the suppression was universal. It didn't matter if you were support or what. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's actually a pretty damn good idea. If you gave the support class the ability to suppress people, as it were, pre-patch, I think you might see a little bit more tactical use of that, but I think the fact that the assault class has an assault rifle and the med pack and the revive sticks, I think that is going to keep them on top and the most important class for the rest of competitive players' lives.
Yes. 'Cause I would like to see more class diversity. And that's a double kill. That was good. But at the same time, it's hard to do that, because I don't know if they just can't even make like suppression only support specific. Maybe they can't.
Yeah, that would be interesting if they could change the suppression based on the classes that are played.
Oh, nice shot, K-rake.
I think to go even further on that, if you were to put a support kit like in the middle of, say, Scene Crossing second map on one of those sandbags, just like keeping everyone's head down, I think you would force the enemy team to either pull out an engineer with the SMA or a sniper with the sniper rifle. Yeah. So it would throw little curveballs in there.
Because one of the things that a lot of people who have never played competitively before say, well, hey, we need to have some snipers on our team. Well, they're really not used that much. In competitive play, because the advantages of an assault class is just so much more. You got to have the ability to get health, the ability to revive. It just works. The pros way outweigh the cons. Oh, and I got K-rake.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man. Although we had a lot of advantage. We were repairing.
Well,
I was repairing
down.
The guy that was picked over Doc Golem. The first person in the draft league. gets shot and killed.
No.
Yeah, that's
we-
just lying.
We had an advantage over him.
How
though.
do you feel about that daskro? Please tell us your words on this situation.
I feel pretty good about killing him. I won't lie. But I know it wasn't a hard-won victory. It was just a team effort. Anyway, though, it's just an idea about suppression, how you can change. I don't know.
I think actually people are going to use the engine class a lot more now because the way they've changed the M4 with the foregrip is pretty much a laser sight now.
Yeah,
Almost on par with the ACWR that Dream over here absolutely loves.
I
A lot of
am in love with the ACR. I love that fucking weapon.
a lot of people are talking up about the ACR and the MTAR as sort of these great weapons, and the ACR definitely is good. But we always have to remember that when new patches come out, old weapons get changed and updated. And so M4 is a great example of that. What are some other examples that you can think of?
The AEK.
Is the AK now one of the best guns to use in assault class, or what do you
A
think?
lot of people that used to be AEK fanboys, after the last patch that was changed, so it was crap, they say that it is better than the M16 now because of the foregrip implementation.
I see.
I still disagree, but, you know, I'm just an M16 fanboy.
I think after the patch, it's more of a viable alternative to the M16. I think that's what they were going for.
And the M16 hasn't been nerfed, or has it?
Actually,
No.
people say no, but for some reason, I want to say yes, because it feels different. Maybe it's because of the suppression, and that's changed my
It's because
whole-
you're using the foregrip, you fucking scrub.
It's what you're supposed to use.
You suck.
I think actually after the suppression change, it has changed the way I look at shooting guns now. When the suppression was as bad as it was, you only had to do short bursts really to get the kill or, you know, scare people off. But now it seems like I have to shoot a little more bullets into the people to actually scare them or shoot them, because they can shoot me back as soon as I start shooting them now.
That makes sense. Oh, K-rake, I ran right into that. I was like, oh, is he gonna peek? Yeah, I peeked it, and you got me.
And I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
He's disabled.
K-rake's disabled though. Let's talk about something a little bit more controversial. 3D spotting. 3D spotting is, for those that don't know, is not allowed in most competitions because it encourages spamming. It encourages you to spam that Q button, to utilize that Q button in tugs and MAVs to the point where people can pre-fire those Doritos. And what do you guys think about it being banned? And is there anything that you could change about 3D spotting to actually make it more viable in competition?
The way it is in competition is pretty fine right now, I think.
Yeah, because
We're not
even
fucking
then, like-
ESL.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say, CGL's competition rules are a lot more balanced, I think, than all of the other, like TWL. They're usually late to the game as far as changes, and ESL, they have fucking regenerative health and 3D spotting. I think that's kind of a joke.
Do you think that if there was if you could change 3D spotting in a way, for instance, make the decay rate in 3D spotting much faster, or perhaps make the Dorito much lighter or you know, less opaque, that you would be more accommodating to it, or is this an absolute that you guys feel like you shouldn't stray from?
It should be strayed from, because it doesn't add to the game. It just makes it easier for other people that really don't know how to position and maneuver throughout the map. It's pretty much like a cheat. It's like a cheat that's implemented into the game.
I agree.
Well, the counter argument to that is, well, you have this recon class. This recon class has all these special abilities that further encourage some kind of 3D spotting. MAV can do 3D spotting. Both Tug and MAV can do 2D spotting, which is allowed in competition.
Yeah,
and,
so other than the MAV.
But the MAV is not allowed in competition, incidentally, or most competitions. If you were to change anything about the recon class, or more generally the dynamics of the game, to better accommodate the recon class, or perhaps make it more viable? What would you guys do?
I would
Actually,
remove it from competition completely.
I think
That's
other than
just
that, other than removing it, it's pretty much as good as it should be, because those tugs, depending on the team that you're playing or that you're playing on, are very beneficial if that's the kind of strategy you want to use.
Yeah, they simply made the recon guns more powerful. Then it may balance itself where everyone's playing recon, because the one-shot kills are just so easy, right?
Yeah, that's the only downfall. Other than what's that 10 or 20 bullet sniper gun?
SKS or the M417.
No, the silenced one, pretty much.
Oh, the
ASVAL?
Yeah, the Val. That's a pretty, that's a pretty dead accurate gun, and because of that gun, that's the only thing that's really keeping that class, you know, on par with everything else.
That makes sense. Oh, and K-rake is low, but he's gonna get repaired easily. Oh no, he's not low. I thought you were on fire first. Oh, I'm looking at the Humvee. Humvee is on fire. Anyway, so those are just a few ideas about, you know, what could you make? How could you change small changes that would make, you know, sort of give more face time, if you will, to, you know, some of the classes that are sort of underutilized. Do you guys have any other comments regarding that sort of topic? What do you guys mean? Anything about engineering class or?
It really, I think it's more along the lines of map based, like scene crossing, for example. That's where I've started implementing a lot with the RPG and blowing out the buildings. When this comes to squad rush, mainly, but I've been able to stop a whole push by shooting out the building's walls and having the rubble follow them. So
do you think more of these maps should incorporate that kind of thing?
They more have to be along the lines of city maps, or
yes.
Like for example, this map, maybe they could implement to where if you shoot the rocks in the tunnel,
yeah, like a cave-in?
Drop down into like a cave-in almost.
That would be pretty sick. That'd be pretty cool.
That's the only other way that they can implement this.
I was
on the
thinking,
other map.
as far as to incorporate all of the pieces from the other classes, I was thinking they should just come up with a fully customizable competitive class in which you get to pick your primary weapon out of all the primary weapons, your secondary out of all the secondaries, and then you get to pick the specialized weapons out of all the specialized weapons. So you could run with a med pack and an RPG, or revive sticks and some C4, and then just you limit it to 2. That way you can make whatever combination of anything that you need.
So pretty much sandbox the whole
That'd be a pretty cool concept, actually. I like that idea. Because a lot of people don't remember that back in the day, in Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 942, you had a lot of different classes available. You had anti-tank classes, you had engineer classes, you had spec ops classes. I'm not repair shit.
2 guys down over rocks, 3 down.
I mean, would you guys like to see the repair, some of these older classes come back, or do you think the mix is good right now, or?
I never even thought of it, like Dream just said, but that would that'd be pretty cool, if they could do something like that.
I see.
You'd see a lot of the same classes, but it wouldn't change it up that much to make it interesting.
Yes, it would. All
hey,
right.
look, everyone, it's our leader.
Cymera just joined us. Cymera, we're recording right now. We're just having a little interview with Chlorox, Dream, K-rake, and Killa about Team Nexus. What you guys' thoughts on the game, that kind of thing.
Oh, so I did interrupt something.
Why don't you ask him? Maybe he'll have some input.
Well, I will ask him, but I am actually running out of hard drive space, so I need to bring this to a close. But about Nexus, plans for the future in Battlefield or otherwise. What are you guys thinking of playing? What are you guys playing right now? What are you guys looking forward to?
I think we're going to try to run the Battlefield train for a little bit longer until see where that
crashes.
And then, I don't know, what's a new DICE game coming out?
Warfighter.
Yeah, Warfighter. That looks kind of interesting. That has some promising attributes, I think.
personally, I'm a little intrigued by Planet Side 2 coming out.
Yo, if we
I think
play
that'll be a fun
Planet
one.
Side 2, I'm gonna shit my bricks.
Cymera, what do you think?
Well, I'm not sure. These guys haven't expressed a clear preference yet. I was expecting them to go for CSGO. I think a lot of the people on the second team, the Dark team, were interested in Go. Acute is really interested in anything like Smite or League of Legends. I think the key is, as long as we stay together as a group, if we find something that piques our interest, we can go for it.
That makes sense.
I say these kind of things sometimes. They make sense.
Yeah, shout out to Acute Chronic for being the biggest douchebag in Nexus.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, any shout-outs while we're at it?
Just because he doesn't like you doesn't make him a douchebag. In fact, it makes him a smart guy.
A smart guy, okay.
Cymera, you like me, and that must make you a dumb douchebag then.
Yeah, I'm not denying that. I
Shout
love
out
you,
to
Dream.
Bubbers McBubbington.
Chlorox gets a shout out to Bub.
Oh, shout out to Lord Disaster. He thinks his team's gonna bring home the CGL Cup.
Lol.
Sorry to disappoint you in the future.
Yeah, and for those that are still watching this video, check out my Predator PTFO match against Disaster and his Impossible Machine team. It's a pretty good video. Anyway, so any last words, anyone?
Dream is bad.
Inception.
All right, well, that's it. I want to thank Chlorox, Cymera, Dream, K-rake, and Killa for all being here. You guys check out their respective YouTube pages below in the description, and check it out. They got they have a lot of content, a lot more than most teams do, and so it's really cool to see that kind of content being posted in terms of matches and commentary and things like that.
I love you, daskro.
So thanks again, guys, and I'll talk to all of you later.